All right, if you blink, you're going to miss this one because I think this should be a really fast card. We have our glow-in-the-dark vinyl sticker paper right here. Pretty cool stuff. I just tested it out with a few inks right here. And it looks like the Brilliance is the winner, which I kind of, thought it might be, but I thought I would get better impressions with the dye-based inks. But the Brilliance is just a really great overall ink to utilize on a lot of different surfaces, okay? We're going to do this in a reflection card just to make it look more, I don't know, interesting here. And let's put the horse drinking water down here. All right. Vinyl sticker paper, it takes water-based media really well, and Brilliance pigment ink is a water-based pigment ink, okay? Other types of pigment inks are oil-based, and that's not what this type of paper that can go through your inkjet printer is designed for. So I don't know if oil-based inks are even going to dry on here. I suspect they won't, or if they do, it would be a really slow process of drying. So I don't know. The stays on work pretty good on there too, as did the hybrid. A little bit less dark than the Brilliance though. Okay, but that being said, you do want to use your stays on ink on the foil though, okay? We need something that's going to print, dry, and adhere on this type of mirrored surface, okay? Now I've just cut this to 4¼ by 5½ standard quarter page card base here, and I've adhered it into this base right here, okay? You can do any type of color that you want for your card base. Okay, I'm gonna create kind of a framework for this lower portion. Framing in terms of, I'm going to frame off kind of a little bit of a subject matter down below here in the horse, a new stamp, and I really love the way it looks in water. Okay, so I used, I don't know, about 40% of the design on this side. I have it going off the bottom of the page so it looks like it's really kind of situated in the foreground area. And it just gives the impression that we're looking off kind of a sloping area down into what will be the lake, or a lake. If you're stamping on kind of different types of surfaces, unconventional stamping surfaces, I always recommend testing out your media on whatever surface you're playing around with, such as something like this. Do a little test thing and put little notes down so that you know what you've used and what looks the best. All right, so we have our trees like that. Let me see right there. Did I not ink up? Maybe I inked up the wrong tree. Let's see here. Here we go again. I'm just going for, I wanted another small tree right here. I'm not closing it off here because I'm going to put my horse down in that area and I don't want to block it off. All right, there we go. Something like that. And let's go with our horse down in that water. I should probably stamp this a little, maybe after I stamp my top scene, because so I can see where my scene is going to be reflecting down here. But I think I'm going to have enough wide open area, where it doesn't matter where I stamp it. Oh, I just skewed a little bit. That's what I'm always mentioning to people, to kind of be careful that you don't do. I did it twice. I moved it around a little bit as I was stamping out, so it came out just fine. I thought I blurred it a little bit, but looks like we're okay. Okay, now on foils with any type of ink, when you're working with these really super silhouette-y styles of images and you have a lot of ink on there, sometimes it can kind of puddle up, and then you create kind of a bubble, like an air bubble in between your rubber and surface, especially because I don't want to squeeze it down too far because I don't want a bunch of ink squeezing off around the edge. So sometimes I get this little marks like that, like in that hip right there, where the ink doesn't stamp out too solid, but you just go in and fill that in with your Sharpie marker, which is kind of the same type of ink as your StazOn ink, so it makes it really easy. Hello, Sharita. Hey, Sharita, I was just thinking about you. I think I forgot to include your scene that our collaboration in your with your stamps, so I'll get that out to you sometime. How are you? I'm well, thanks. Okay, you received, yeah. I can't wait to see what you do with those. I've been having so much fun. So this is off one of the new plates right here, of course. Okay. All right, so Sharita, not that you need any other types of things to experiment with. You have a lot of different things, but this glow-in-the-dark paper is pretty cool, from what I can tell. I've used some of it before, but I haven't used it for a long time because the initial pack that I got had, like, I don't know, it's like 3 sheets for like $10 or something like that. So it wasn't something that I used a lot, or, you know what I mean? I didn't even like promote because I don't really, I don't like super expensive types of surfaces to work with. So, but this one now, they've gone down like, I don't know, it's probably like, I don't know, 60% cheap. It's like, I think it was like $1 a sheet here or something like that, or just a little bit over $1 a sheet. Okay, so Brilliance Black here, okay. And what I'm gonna go for is I'm just going here from roughly here on up, okay. And sorry about my head being in the way if it is. I don't know if you can tell, like, see, that already has, like, what I like about this vinyl is that it's kind of thicker, so I think it has just a really thick coating of that glow-in-the-dark medium, whatever's on there, because it's a lot thicker of a vinyl than my holographic vinyls. Now, what would be kind of cool is if we can print this through we can put this through a printer, and you know how I do cloud stamping or photo stamping on clouds? We print out some cloud patterns on this, okay? Just with some light grayscale, and then stamp on top of it. I think that would look really cool. All right. All right, there we go. A little bit of an overlap like that. See, it takes the Brilliance ink really, really nicely. Now with my other inks that I was using, experimenting on this paper too, when you stamp it down, it has that emulsion coating on here, so it was almost like I was peeling off the stamp off the surface. And it was really aggressive, in terms of the drying time. But the Brilliance is a little bit of a thicker ink, and it's water-based, so I find that when I'm removing this off of there, it's not as an aggressive of an adhesion to that surface. So there's a little bit more of a wider window by which to lift your stamp off the surface. I feel like if I kept my stamp down for too long using the StazOn ink or something like that, I almost feel like I'm peeling off the surface or something off of that vinyl there. So, no affiliation with Tsukaneko, but it's a good, really good performer on a lot of different types of, especially the unconventional stamping surfaces. The conventional stamping surface, it's white cardstock, matte, semi-gloss, and glossy. Or just other types of papers, envelopes, and things like that. Okay, so let's take a look here, and with these glow-in-the-darks, it's always kind of hard to show people how this is looking right here. So a lot bare up there, okay, but this one's all about, it almost looks like a white card, white paper there, but even just kind of walking to my paper trimmer down the hall, just briefly being out in the light, and my desk here is reasonably, you know, lit here, but it really, really was glowing pretty strong. So, all right, but this is just kind of a test piece right here. Maybe I'll stamp out some other, maybe I'll stamp out my cloud cumulus up here. I usually don't do it on the vinyls, but let's check it out. Let's just check this out in terms of let's see if we can see if it's glowing or not just by turning off my lights in here. Okay, I just turned off one light. You can already see it kind of glowing a little bit. Oh my God, that is really charged up. I don't know if you can see it right here. It's really, it's giving a lot of light to my hands right here. Okay, and that's not really just, that wasn't even really holding it up very much to the, you know, the light for very long. So, so on camera, it looks much lighter, but in person here, it's a much greener look. Let me see if I can change my exposure a little bit. Okay, it's lighter, but it's greener here in person, so yeah, you can see it on my hands here. I mean, you know what I mean? This is like really giving off. Look at this. See, I'm turning this down towards my paper and it's illuminating the paper, like down here and here. Yeah, see that right there? It's like a light, you know, almost, but it's just kind of the retention of light in there, so pretty cool stuff. And that's one of those things that's kind of missing from, it's missing a little bit from the glow-in-the-dark acrylic paint, okay? Now, if you give it enough coats with this, it looks pretty good. And this, of course, is paint, so you can paint, you know, specifics. I mean, this is just, everything's glowing, right? But it's kind of nice to have that as a base, you know, if you want a lot of light kind of reflecting back at you. So let me try some things here. We got this big open area up top here. And even though this is like a glow-in-the-dark scene here, it'd be better if there was something that was happening up here of some type of visual interest. Okay, so these are all kind of slightly more silhouette-y types of images in here. But let's put, let's see how this vinyl works with something like the most airy, whatever, textured style of image in the cloud cumulus. It's just a bunch of dots in various densities. But let's see how it takes the ink here. I guess I could stamp, you know, these clouds out in different colors up here too, because it does take dye-based inks. So I don't know, could we stamp a blue tone up there? I don't know. Maybe I'll test it out. Okay, so I've wiped off some of the base of this, so I just don't get this harsh rectangle up there. And I'm doing this cloud a little bit more upside down like that. Okay, so it'll give the illusion of light coming from maybe the horizon like that. This cloud always has kind of a light direction, so if the light is kind of right here, then I would have this cloud with being lit this way, okay? And this way on the other side of that. Okay, but see that where I've kind of wiped some of that off so it doesn't leave this really super harsh black line right there. Now that has that tone up there if we're, you know, building up clouds like that, but if we're just going to end it like that, then I wipe this portion of the cloud off like that. Like, so I'm pretty aggressive about, you know, the amount of removal of ink. Okay, like that, and take them like this and lift Like so. It's giving a pretty good impression. This paper, this vinyl is working pretty decent. Okay. Let's go like that. I have that horse down here, but in this type of scenario, if maybe the like the creature of the Black Lagoon coming out of there might be a little bit more fitting of a type of subject matter with this glow in the dark, you know, kind of eerie greenish glow. I'm going to come from this side and we'll frame this composition off a little bit more. Like that. I don't want to go down here too much because we want it to glow in the dark and we want it to kind of illuminate that bottom horse there. Darling, how are you? You got your stamps. Excellent. I hope you enjoy them. Drop me a note if you ever have any questions, of course. All right. Here's a different way to use your stamps. You can do your Stampscapes, and now you can do in glow in the dark your eerie scapes, as in eeriness, you know. Oh, look at that. We can't even see the clouds in the reflections right here because they're around on the perimeter like that. But it makes that top portion a little bit more interesting like that. Let's check it out again and let's see how this glows here. Let me hold it up to the light a little bit closer. All right, let's see here. So it is now like that. A little bit more textural of a sky. This will be adhered into this top portion. I need to chop off the length of this card right here a little bit. This glow in the dark stock is not 8.5 by 11. It's that A4 kind of, I don't know, what is that? Like an international size or something? Okay, let's see. Turn on your night lights if you're afraid of the dark. All right, there we go. Here, let me move this out of the way. That is really glowing. Again, look at that light retention like that. It's really reflecting not just off of my hands like this. So, and it's really just this portion, of course. But, you know, I mean, this paper, like I said, it's like $1 a sheet. This is like 25-cent piece then. You know what I mean? Not too bad. But, you know what I mean? It's not like cardstock. So you put it into a reflection card format, and now you've, not really, but it's almost like you double your money. You know what I mean? Because we get the glowing up here as well as down here, you know, type of whatever aspect of it, the reflective aspect of it. So I don't know. This is kind of fun here. You can stamp out I thought about stamping a moon up here, but I thought, well, the moon would be glowing, but so would the entire sky. You know, I've been doing those cutout moons where I painted them with glow-in-the-dark paint so that you can put them anywhere in a piece, but I guess you can also put it up here. But again, everything was going to be glowing in there. So, all right. Pretty fun stuff. I wouldn't say these cards, I mean, it's, you know, it's going to be a monochromatic type of looking piece, you know, without, you know, the effect of turning the lights out or something like that. So I guess if you send something like this to someone, you might kind of inform them, hey, you'd take it in, you know, to the closet with you and close the door. Otherwise, they might think it's kind of plain, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, they usually send me such colorful pieces, you know, this one's like really kind of minimal or something like that. I'm going to put some I just realized something. I smeared my tree right here. See that right there? I don't know if you can tell on the video. That stays on ink. I don't know. I thought that stays on ink would dry faster. Yeah, I smeared right here, okay? But it's no big deal. On this real reflective type of cardstock like this, not on a printable vinyl or something like that. But I'm just going to take this cotton ball right here and just, you can put some rubbing alcohol in here and just remove that right off like an eraser and just restamp it again. So it's one of the most forgiving types of surfaces. It's not all foils, but the silver and the gold one are really coated and tough and everything like that. So it's not any big deal to do that on those. You can even take a Stays-On cleaner and clean it right off. Paper towel or whatever, cotton ball. All right, so anyway, hello, Rich. Is it Rochelle or Rachel? Okay, but did you see that glowing in the dark there, Otter Eyes? I just had that off there. Look at it, you can't even tell that's really smeared there anyway. I'm gonna redo that one though, because I really like that. So glow in the dark sticker paper, vinyl sticker paper. It's awesome. If you like it, find a really good ink for it though, because it is really aggressive. I'm finding it seems more aggressive in terms of the drying time than your typical printable sticker paper. Okay, I don't know. I think there's a thicker emulsion coating on here or something like that, because when I stamped those dye-based inks on here, on this test one right here, it really, really stuck. I was like peeling it off like that, you know. And I don't know, you just keep that in mind. Get a feel for it, have a scrap piece, you know, and test out the different types of inks that you have on there. It might work with a VersaFine Clair. I don't know, though. This is the hybrid here with a little bit of that oil-based pigment ink, it combined with the dye-based ink. And now that I think about it, though, yeah, okay, I have it right here. Oh, no. Okay, so on the VersaFine Clair on this one, I thought, okay, that worked pretty good. But later on, like recently, I stamped this like, I don't know, like a year or two ago. It scratches right off, okay? So these other ones right here, water-based, solvent-based. This one right here, I don't know if I can score into it. No, the Stays-On's too aggressive, it's fine. So the Clair is probably drying on here, but it's not really adhering very well. So it just kind of scratched right off of this, probably after like a couple years on there, okay? So stick with your water-based and, or the Stays-On, you know. There might be other brands of solvent inks than Stays-On. But give a test out and see what works the best for your, I don't know, whatever surfaces you're going with. And it might be different with different brands of glow-in-the-darks. I don't know. Not too experienced with it, but I love that real super aggressive glowing quality of it. And for me, it's going to make a perfect surface to stamp on for things like Halloween cards, or I don't know. Now that I have like those other moons too, I made some moons myself, but it might be better just to stamp it on this just inherently, you know, it's paper made, you know, to glow in the dark, so it's a little bit brighter, and it just seems to have a greater lighter retention than me and the acrylic paint. I'm looking at my piece right here. Anyway, and this is a sticker paper, so you can just kind of peel off the back like this and just adhere it right in there, so you don't even have to use your tape runners or spray on adhesives. All right, everyone, let's see. You love them. I need to get the cloud stamp. Oh, yeah. So if you ever get this cloud stamp right here, you know, where'd it go? The cloud cumulus. That was one of them. I've used that stamp. Oh, here, I'm using it for this right here. Watch that video. I think it's the second video on that cloud cumulus. It's also in Nature Set number 8, but just watch that you don't stack it. And I show it in the video. There's like a how to use this one, or the what to do, you know, the do's and don'ts of this one right here. It's super easy to use, but just when people get it, oftentimes they're just stacking it like bricks because it's a rectangle. So I'll show how to kind of wipe off the edge, and then you just stamp it from one impression to the next. I mean, you can overlap this one like an inch into the previous impressions, okay? But center pressure on it too. So I don't rock it like this, okay? And then you can overlap it, and it's like completely seamless. And that's what I used to teach people in my workshops all the time. And it makes for a really great filler stamp if you have a lot of sky area, okay? And it can be used in conjunction with the other clouds too. You get cloud cumulus and alto cumulus and things like that. And you can use it around other things like the Milky Way or lightning bolts, aurora borealis, you know what I mean? Any type of sky figure. This is kind of like your filler stamp for that. So this one might be really good to use with the like Milky Way stamp on the interior here. So the Milky Way stamp, I don't have it out right around me, I don't think, but it's kind of a more solid style cloud image or sky figure. But then it has these little reverse areas of stars in it. So it might be kind of interesting to fill up like a page like this, you know, or some of it, and you can use your cloud cumulus on there around the Milky Way. But then the stars would be really, really bright in a glow-in-the-dark setting. So instead of doing some sort of dark sky and adding things like kind of a weaker glow-in-the-dark paint, like I've tried splatter painting this, and it's just, you're splatter painting and it just doesn't retain as much light, you know, when you flip off the lights. It does a little bit. It'd be fine if it was under a black light, but if you're doing something where you want to flip off the lights and have this idea, or have this visual of glowing stars in the sky, this is probably a better way to go, and to use something like, again, the Milky Way stamp in there, and then that would have your glowing little stars too. So yeah. All right, so fun with glow in the darks, fun with just another type of service. I've used it before, like I said, but it was kind of an impractical type of service like that for, you know, like everyday card usage, just because the cost of it at the time. There was only like one brand out there that I can find. There's a lot of vinyl glow in the darks out there for people with, like, running through their Cricut machines and things like that. And I think there's a few of the printable. I don't know if there was a few. There was a couple, but there was multiple sellers of it. So if you like it, check for prices. And some of them might come in a 5-pack pack, and then this one's a 10-pack. And like I said, it was like $1 something per sheet. So 25 cents a card. No, not any too big of a deal. You know? So yeah, I don't want $1 a card, and that's what I felt like I was practically doing last time. It was like, I don't know, $3 or $4 for like a pack of I don't even know if it was 5 sheets. It was something crazy, but I really wanted to test it out back then. So I don't know. Luckily for us, there's a lot more options these days. Okay, folks, thanks for joining in. Just a quick card right here, testing out the glow-in-the-dark aspect of this. If you didn't see this with the lights out, check it out, or my previous video where I was just doing some tests. When I turned off the light, it's really glowing really well, but in person it's a lot more greenish tinge now than what it looks like on the screen here. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, it's really fun stuff. And in this case, I'm always trying to give the illusion of all my scenes, like where, light is coming from out of the scene. We have foils and things like that, that are reflective of, reflective light. But this is like one of those instances where it's like, okay, the light is truly emanating from the card outward, in that glow in the dark aspect of it, which is kind of cool. So I don't know, goofy stuff, goofy but fun. And again, perfect for like a Halloween type of sketching. So I'll do some other tests like that. I'll run some of this through an inkjet printer. I'll print out some cloud figures on it, and we'll try to do some glow-in-the-dark photo stamping on here, and it should be interesting to see what that might look like. So I'll see how the inkjet inks work on here too. I hadn't even thought about printing out some color things on here, but I don't know. That might be kind of fascinating. In theory, it should take a lot of ink though, so, or whatever types of inks you want to out of your inkjet printer. So if you ink on here and cover it up, is it going to glow through? I don't know, or if it's going to change the look of some different tones on here. I was just thinking about monochromatic and black and white, but I don't know. We might be able to figure out some kind of interesting, I don't know, whatever color combinations to work on there. Hope you liked the card look. The card look and card and look. All right, everyone. Happy stamping. Hope to see you on the next live.